Omar Khan and Andy Weidel seem to be doing it yet again. The 2023 draft was absolutely stellar, and 2024 is proven to be just as good. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's dive into all of these guys that have been picked. 4 players so far for your Pittsburgh Steelers that are going to be new to this roster next season. And this is an exciting time. Omar Khan, Andy Weidel have been just rocking it yet again, man. And this is so awesome to see. Just to see how this draft has unfolded and how everything is just really fallen into the place, fallen into the lap of your Pittsburgh Steelers, not having to move around, not having to burn up draft capital, which has been really, really cool because a lot of us in Steeler Nation thought that we'd probably have to slide up in certain areas to be able to get players that we really, really coveted. However, the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to remain patient, allow this draft to come to them, and then strike while the iron was hot. If you remember in our pre-draft shows how I preached and preached and preached, which you guys probably got sick of hearing me say it, was don't get involved with what the other teams are doing. Play your own draft board. Allow the draft board to continue to just flow toward you. Don't worry about who other teams are picking. Don't worry about what they're doing in terms of trades. Just focus on what you have in place. And I think that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers have done. And it's really showing to be super good, super positive. And I think the outcome has been a stellar one so far, guys. So let's dive into some of these players that they have picked. We have been live for most of it here, and it has been absolutely amazing. Your responses has been so humbling, and you guys have literally got us to the 3,000 subscriber mark. We just need a few more. That's really, really cool. So thank you guys. Without you, this does not go, and you guys really, really know your football, man, and it is so impressive to see every single day when we are live and when we do these shows. Your comments are absolutely amazing. But let's dive in right now, guys, to these players that the Steelers have got. In round 1, Troy Fautanu at pick number 20. A guy that, in my eyes, after watching him and after seeing his draft reports and everything like that, I think that he should have probably went with inside the top 15 players. However, the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to get him after that at pick 20. Yes, there's some injury concerns, but these things I don't think are an issue. And I want to remind you guys, I know Steeler Nation has some concerns here about injuries for some of these players and that you're like wondering to yourself, is this going to be bad? Is the outcome going to be bad because of injury concerns? A lot of these players have injury concerns. You're just seeing a lot of these injuries now pop up on our players that the Steelers have picked because we're paying attention to them. So yes, a lot of these players, man, it's hard to go through your football life without having any injuries. But the Pittsburgh Steelers have in place one of the premier medical staffs inside of this whole country. The Pittsburgh area has been known for many years for being a place where doctors come and learn and hone their skills, and that this is where players of other sports, and you see guys like Dale Earnhardt Jr. come in for their neurological problems to where? Pittsburgh. They fly in here, they meet with doctors here because they are world-renowned doctors. And I want to make you feel maybe a little bit more comfortable that those are the types of guys that are giving the Steelers advice on, hey, whether they should pick them up or not. They go through the medicals. Those guys, those premier world leaders in their area, their position of specialty inside of the medical world. So we have great orthopedics. We have great guys in the neurological department. We have a lot of great doctors that other teams may not have, especially here in the city of Pittsburgh, where it has been world renowned for many years, not just recently, many, many years. So I just want to show you guys or tell you guys that I myself have worked down in the city of Pittsburgh in the hospital as a respiratory therapist, and I've seen some of these people at work and what they are able to do and how good they are. So I really think that there is a high confidence level in their opinions. So let's get that out of the way. But let's start with Troy Fautanu, guys, a guy that is a real beast, man, real monster. And I think that was such a quality pick for the Steelers. We talked about that yesterday whenever we did our morning upload. So we really dove into Troy Fatanu's skill set and what he does best. And I think that that was a real monster move and a real steal for the Pittsburgh Steelers at pick number 20 to get a guy the caliber of Troy Fatanu. Then you look at round two, and we thought the Pittsburgh Steelers still had many holes to fill, and center being an absolute must in this draft. And the Steelers didn't panic. Even after you saw Graham Barton come off the board in round one, they still remained steadfast. And then round two played out to where you saw tons of defensive tackles, tons of cornerbacks, tons of wide receivers just come off the board real quickly. And then you saw the Steelers just continue to sit and wait. And that was awesome to see, that you didn't see Omar Khan and Andy Weidl panic. You never saw that panic. And they didn't try to jump up and think like, oh man, our guy's going to be gone. No, they waited. They knew what the draft board was going to look like, and they just allowed the draft board to come to them, which was really special. But you saw the Steelers get what I believe to be the best center in this draft. WVU center Zach Frazier, in my eyes, is the realest and illest dog out there on the block, guys. This dude is a machine on that football field. He will pancake the shit out of many, many players, and you will see it, and you will see it early and often in the city of Pittsburgh. This guy is a real monster, and I don't know if fans really realize how lucky you were to get a guy like Zach Frazier. He is going to be the next one in line. He'll be one of the four, probably, that I say that are one of the tops ever for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I can almost say that with certainty. I really have that much confidence in him. You have the Mike Websters, Dermonte Dawson, Marquise Pouncey, guys that played in the city of Pittsburgh for many years and were all pro guys, Hall of Fame type guys, man, in my opinion. Big time players, man, really solidifying that center spot. And I think Zach Frazier will be the next in line and be that next guy to add to that handful of just quality, super special guys at the center position. I think that that is going to be true. Zach Frazier, what a beast inside of that center position. Great leverage, guys. I think he has great hands. I think he gets on you quick. I think that he will overwhelm a lot of defensive linemen. Why? Because he gets on you so fast, and that he is just in your face, man. And he seems like a real Steeler. That's what we can say about the two picks that we've seen so far in round 1 and 2. Those guys really seem like Steeler-type players, man. Guys that you as a fan want inside of that building. Excuse me. Guys that really are like just that heart, that soul, that want. You see guys like Zach Frazier that break their damn leg on the football field and care so much about their football team and care so much about them winning in basically a meaningless game for them. A game that isn't going to win them the national championship or anything. But Zach Frazier is willing to risk it all. Risk everything. Knowing he's going into the NFL draft, risk it all and drag himself off the field with a broken leg so his team doesn't get a 10-second runoff and lose that game against Baylor. Basically a meaningless game in my eyes, a game that didn't mean much. And you saw that toughness. You saw that care about his teammates, that want for his team, that desire to win. That doesn't just get taught to somebody. That is something that is special. You either have it or you don't. And I think you got guys in the top 2 picks that really, really have that want, that fight inside of them. And then you move down, guys. You look down now to round 3, where the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to select 2 players. And yet again, they were able to fill holes, fill needs on this football team. You look at Rome Wilson, the guy that was selected first in round 3, a wide receiver from Michigan, a major contributor on that national championship football team. You've seen his name all the time. You've seen his contributions and his meaningful play constantly when you turn on the highlights of that Michigan Wolverines national championship team. A guy that's a real fighter. A guy that, in my opinion, could be like a Deontay Johnson. He can play great in and out. He doesn't have to be just tied down to one area. I think that he's a real tough kid, willing to go across the middle, willing to catch the tough ball. I think that he gets good separation. I think that he runs quality routes. I think that he is definitely going to prove to be a quality asset in the run game. I really like the way Rome Wilson really just comes out there and just gives it his all. Another Steeler type player in my eyes. And maybe I'm overemphasizing that Steeler type player, but I think they went back to that and really got guys that exemplify that, especially in last year's draft and this year's draft so far. And I think they can continue to do that as the draft moves forward. But Rome Wilson, what another quality addition for the Steelers at a position of heavy need. I would like to see the Steelers get one more receiver here inside this draft. I'd really like to see that. We'll see how that goes. We'll break down who's left and really dive into that here in a little bit later today. But then we move next down into the next pick of round 3. A guy that I really truly believe to be a real stud, a guy that ran wide receiver type speed at the combine. I like the speed. I think he's really rangy. Yes, again, injury concerns. Maybe the reason that a guy like Peyton Wilson slid down into the 3rd round somewhere. But honestly, guys, without injury concerns, he's probably picked way higher. This guy definitely, in my eyes, is a rangy guy that can really, really, really play well for the Pittsburgh Steelers inside of the pass game, inside of the run game. I think he can be all over the field. I think he's going to be excellent in the pass rush game, blitzing from exotic locations. I think that that is going to prove to be pretty cool. And it boosts up this linebacker room to where it needed some depth. You had the addition of Patrick Queen. You still had a Landon Roberts. I think this guy adds another level to that room to where now they're going to be able to breed and let this guy come along, show him the ropes, and really allow him to grow in a position to where he doesn't have to be the guy right away when you're playing behind Patrick and Landon. You don't have to carry the burden of that whole room. And I think they really made a solid move here with Peyton Willis. A rangy guy, man, high number tackle opportunities. That really gets you excited for a guy that can run all over the football field and make tackles. Great football intelligence, really knows how to use this scheme to his advantage. He is definitely a guy, though, that is going to play well in the pass game, which I'm super excited about. Burst, lateral agility, create blitzing potential. That's where I just talked about that. And that's one of his strengths on his draft profile that I just quickly read. And I just said that to you. He could be a guy that blitzes from anywhere. Why? Because he has outstanding speed. And he's going to be a bigger body guy that comes flying at you like a heat-seeking missile. And it's going to be really hard to chip him, really hard to catch him off the edge if he comes in. It's really going to be hard for a running back to pick him up if he shoots through the A gap or something coming up the middle. He's going to be really, really difficult to defend in that way. And with that speed, with that ability to switch gears and the ability to go lateral and horizontal and really change direction quickly, I think that he will be a real problem inside of that pass rush game. I definitely do. Now, guys, we look at the Pittsburgh Steelers here as they approach the next part of this draft, rounds 4, 5, and 6 and 7. But the Steelers have no 7th round pick. They have no 5th round pick. But they will pick twice inside of round 4, and they will pick twice inside of round 6. Where do they go, guys? Who do they pick up now? If you look at how this draft board has played out so far, they've gotten their receiver, they've gotten their center, they've gotten a tackle, and they went in and strengthened that inside linebacker room up. So now what do you do here? You have options, and we've said that all off season. We've said it so many times, and you're probably sick of hearing me say that too. But I've told you, what does Omar Khan give? Options. And that is the special thing about Omar. He always has options, and that is what you're going to see here in round 2, or the next day here, the day 3 of the NFL draft, rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7. You're going to see the flexibility of Omar Khan. And now any which way he goes isn't the wrong move. Now he can work on shoring up position strength, getting position stronger, like the wide receiver room. He could go out and grab another wide receiver. What's up with grabbing even maybe another offensive lineman? What about securing some of the defensive front a little bit? You could go there. What about possibly getting a safety somewhere? What about grabbing a cornerback? They could do so many things. Now they're not pot committed to any which way. Now they can strictly just focus on best player available, and 9 times out of 10 it's gonna bolster a position group. Because why? They still have some places that they need to fill a little bit, not dire need anywhere. Now they can just play with it and see how it exactly falls to them, and just go with the best player available, and it's probably going to work out for you. So they can continue to just try to get the best athletes in the building here in the last part of this NFL draft, and things should unfold and come to them exactly the way they planned. This has kind of been magical, man. And I don't want you guys to worry about these injury things. I think that the doctors are premier, man, and they know exactly what they're doing, and they wouldn't have advised the Steelers to take these guys if they had doubts in their mind. So I think that that is something that we can kind of just flush out for a little bit and know that they're there, but not bring it to the forefront constantly, because I don't think it's going to be one of those things that we have to overly be concerned about right now. But this Steelers team has really taken off, and I really like the direction that they are heading in 2024. And if you're a player on that roster, you should be ultra excited for the way this team is building and the path that is going down, because I think they are going to be a difficult out for anybody inside of the AFC. I think they are going to be a difficult team to handle in 2024. And I think Omar Khan, Andy Weidel, Mike Tomlin, and that whole staff inside of that building on South Water Street have done a fantastic job thus far here in 2024. And they've really took advantage of what they did in 2023. And I think they have really built on that here this season. And it is really nice to see that constant building block being laid into place, and this team continuing to grow in the right direction. And there seems to be a real path. There seems to be a real way they want to build this, and I really like the structure in which they're following here to really create a solid football team for 2024. Buckle your seatbelt, guys, because 2024 should be very exciting for your Pittsburgh Steelers, and should be very exciting for this franchise. And hopefully things continue to go the way they have been so far, because it seems like Omar Khan and Andy Weidel have a horseshoe stuck up their ass. So we'll see how this all moves. All right, guys, make sure you tune in when we go live. We'll see. I'm going to be moving some things today. We're switching some houses, going to an Airbnb for about a month while our new house is getting ready. So we're going to be doing that. So I'm probably going to be doing a lot of moving today, but whenever I have time, I'm going to jump on during the draft and talk with you guys. So make sure you turn your notification bell on. Turn on the notifications for the reason of, hey, you don't know when we're going to be popping on, and you want to join the conversation here on Mike Drop Sports. So, guys, again, thank you for supporting us on Steel City Live yet again last night. Tons of subscribers gained, tons of watch hours, tons of views. It was so humbling. You guys are awesome, man. The likes were awesome. They were way up. Man, you guys are just so good, man. So good. It's so awesome to be associated with such a great community of thousands of Steeler fans, and it's been an awesome ride. So until later today, guys, keep watching for us. I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.